But there's no indication that the people who do a lot of ceremonies are necessarily more spiritually enlightened, right? They might have some arrows in their quiver, but they're not necessarily firing them in a useful direction. I mean, to some extent, that's true with any practice. But maybe let me ask you, do you think ceremonies are a spiritual practice, something else, or both?
I think that they are not technically what I would call a spiritual practice. What they do is they break the mold of somebody's materialistic worldview in a way that lets some light in that may have thunderous enough ramifications for them in their reassessment, maybe of being metaphysically what it is to be them, that it might have some form of spiritual ramifications. But I make a distinction. Probably got this from somewhere, but I can't tell you where. We have this normal consciousness, and everybody's might be a little different, but it's sort of like living in the suburbs. You kind of have familiar places, and your worlds have a lot of overlap. But once you decide that you're going to set out to leave that known neighborhood of consciousness, it's not a given that there's just only one other place that you can go. There's a lot of other places you can go, and that those different places have certain differing characteristics and differing impacts. And so uh, I make a big distinction, and this is the distinction that I don't know where exactly I got this from, but it's the distinction between magic and theogeny. And ceremonies I would put into the realm of magic as opposed to theogeny. Theogeny meaning I'm going to go see God, and magic meaning I want, I don't, here I am in consciousness dangling between matter and super consciousness. There's a lot of different directions maybe within both of those directions, but those are the fundamental. Do I go farther away from matter and more into the ideal realms, the so-called spiritual realms, where I may well see what Lao Tzu calls the source of life if I'm doing things right? Or if I paid the price, maybe. Or am I trying to dick around with stuff?